What it do, and welcome back to the Flagrant 3 podcast. It's your boy Snazz, joined as always to the right, feeling too good.
Right hand man in the house.
Yes sir, and across the realms, Mystic Mike.
How you going, boys?
We're good.
Right, we've had another week's break. We're back to work. Let's get crack-a-lacking.
We've got some big debates today, I think.
We have, but let's get started with a little bit of new media that's come out this week. The KD and Draymond Green interview, the very anticipated interview.
20 minutes of a
wassy man conversation, if I'm honest.
Just trash talking the rest of the NBA.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I was expecting a similar feel to like the Kobe Shaq interview.
Yeah, it wasn't that at all.
No, it wasn't. And even that, I don't feel that anything was squashed in this at all. It was just kind of like, you're my friend, I'm your friend again. That's cool. I'm not going to badmouth you because you're not going to badmouth me.
Yeah. And then we're just going to pin the blame on everybody else.
And everyone that's not here, it's their fault, motherfuckers. It's like, it was just kind of like blowing each other's own trumpets and that for me.
Yeah.
It's like, we were so good. Yeah, we were really good.
Yeah, we were really good, and then I called you a bitch, and but that was Steve Kerr's fault. Yeah, no, I didn't. I mean, it was cool, but
it was cool, and we always like to see players with a bit of animosity.
Yeah, it wasn't like that. The Magic and Isaiah interview, the Shaq and Kobe interview. They were. But I think that's the difference. Maybe like the older guys, like they're a lot more professional in that sense. Obviously, they turned up in suits, etc., etc.
Yeah, these guys.
And they really chopped it up. They went through their issues and said why they hated each other and for what reason they hated each other, etc. But with this, it was like you say, they turned up best buds. Yeah, we've just won a gold medal together. We've already done this interview a million times in the hotel, in the Olympic Village, on the plane journey, and now they're doing it for the likes, for the gram. Yeah,
it was purely for internet satisfaction. And I mean that's why you do everything nowadays, isn't it? Everything's online, so you might as well make some dollar out of it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
but I mean,
I ain't mad at it. I mean, it was cool to see it. It just didn't. It wasn't
cool to see it.
I think if they really wanted to sell it, they should have give it a little bit of firework.
Yeah, a little bit of beef in there, a little bit of spice.
Bit of blame at each other. I mean, I ain't being funny, but if someone calls you a bitch and tries to kick you, do you know what I mean? You're not going to be happy about it. You're not going to want to sit down in the room with that person and sit there and blame other people for the fact that the person in front of you called you a bitch. I don't know, it was weird.
I enjoyed it, but it was just nothing like what I wanted. Nothing like the Shaq Kobe.
What was it called as well? Was it called Chips or something like that?
Something like that.
It's Draymond Green's thing, Chips, isn't it?
What, his new podcast?
Yeah, I didn't see the point in the conversation because there was no chip on the shoulder. There was no.
Oh, was that it?
Yeah,
I thought it was Chips as in championships.
No, well, it can be interpreted multiple ways, but the way they discuss it is issues that are in the
NBA.
Yeah.
That
so
makes
they
sense.
had an issue together, and then instead of taking blame and accountability because the issue was with each other, they blamed Bob Myers and Steve Kerr, which for Kevin Durant's not an issue. He goes back to Brooklyn, but for Draymond Green's now got to go back into the front office and look at Steve Kerr and go, I just told everyone I called you all clowns and laughed in your face.
And you're the reason why we lost the best player in the NBA.
And the other reason, it wasn't my fault, it was your fault.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't like about it. Like you talk about the Shaq and Kobe, they talked about actually winning mentalities, how they went about their issue to still win championships and went on. They had an issue and just parted ways.
Yeah.
Kobe and Shaq, they at least stayed together for a few more years, win a few more championships, doing fantastic things.
They went until they lost.
And then they also took accountability for each other. Like, they turned around and they actually said, look, that was my mistake, They went, oh, you've got an ego, I've got an ego, and that's why we clashed. But on the court, we settled our differences. They went, oh, well, we're great players.
We was right and everybody else was wrong.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference in the older generation is they're not afraid to to tell you did wrong.
I don't think it's the older generation. I think it's just about being a bitch.
You know what I mean?
Kevin Durant, you talk about the geezer that made a fucking burner account to start slating other people.
Oh yeah, they talked about that as well, didn't they? But then he sits there and he's like, oh, you know, on the burner account, I'm just saying the same things I'm saying on my normal account, or Draymond said it, or whoever said it. And it's like, well,
so
what the fuck have you done it then?
Why have you got a burner then?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Put your verification next to it and say your chest.
Do you know what really got me? Yeah, put that blue tick. So what really got me about that interview is when Kevin Durant sat there saying about Steve Kerr and Bob Myers, the way they handled it, and trying to make Draymond apologise, etc., etc. And then in the next breath, KD turns around and says, when he watched The Last Dance and Scottie Pippen sat out for that game and he wouldn't check back in, and everybody in the locker room put it on Scotty for not getting in the game and being the leader. And Kevin Durant's like, that's what I wanted out of the situation. It's like, well, then surely that would be Steph's fault and Clay's fault and DeMarcus Cousins and everybody else that was in the locker room that didn't hold Draymond or you accountable. But you want to sit up there with your pal and blame Bob Myers and Steve Kerr. Well, disciplinary action is going to be taken. You're an employee. Disciplinary action is going to be taken. You've had a fight with somebody that you work with. Obviously, something's going to happen.
Yeah, and it's the new NBA, isn't it? The players have so much more leverage over the
I personally don't see what they got out of that interview apart from a slagging match across the NBA.
No, exactly.
Even Draymond taking shots at KD's previous and current teams, he started saying that Kyrie's obviously he's talked about as being unstable. We know that, but you ain't got to bring up in a fucking interview. He played with Harden and he also played with Russell Westbrook at the Thunder.
But what I didn't...
And then they were the issue. And it's like, well, why are you bringing...
I don't know. Actually, I took that a little differently.
The subtlety that he said it. He was... throwing shade.
Yeah,
I did get that. It was like it might not come back to bite me.
No, see, I took it the way when he was talking about before he with OKC before he went to Golden State, and he was saying that he wasn't in the right place. He wasn't himself while he was in OKC. I thought that kind of took it because everybody blamed Westbrook. But KD can't win with you. Well, that's why he's left.
KD said,
blah, blah, blah.
KD said the reason why he left Thunder and felt more comfortable with the Warriors was because he knew his role in the Warriors, exactly. Right? Your role in the Thunder is to be the franchise player. Your role is to be the Steph Curry player, and everyone else is the Klay Thompson and the Durants and the Draymond Greens.
Follows suit.
You know your role. Don't give me shit about you don't know your role.
Yeah, but then he's contradicting himself because while he was with the Warriors, it was constantly like he couldn't stand the fact that Golden State fans were never going to treat him the same way they treated Steph.
No, but he had that sort of love at OKC. The fans adored KD.
Of course you would. You got
exactly.
One of
he was born and bred the same as Steph in Golden State. Born and bred. They drafted you. They've brought you up. They've turned you into a man, and now you are the superstar that carries that entire city on your back.
I think what did he say? He just didn't like the inconsistency. He never knew whether he would have to take control on the
offensive end or carrying the ball up. Well, you do know that.
Well, excuse me. You're playing with a defensive player of the year and a sixth man of the year at one point in your career, and all right, he wasn't doing it when KD was there, but a triple-double machine. You know, that's a pretty good fucking team. Like, you should know your role.
And let's not forget before. He got to the finals the year before he moved.
Young,
yeah.
He got to the finals.
He was Western Conference Finals the year before. Then they lost. But it was 2012 they made the finals.
Exactly. So you're showing development, you're showing progression. As a young team, a young unit.
I mean, you go back and watch the series. They got a 3-1 lead over Golden State, the best Golden State team, or the best regular season team ever put together. They've got a 3-1 lead over them, and they can't close it out. And go back and watch it. You can't pin it on Westbrook. You can't really pin it on KD. It was a collective. It was a collective.
And the thing is, no one was stopping Golden State that year. Getting there.
I mean, LeBron did, yeah.
LeBron did in the finals, but getting there in the West, there were.
That's right. That's right. But we're talking one game. Yeah. One game out of 4 is all they had to get. Well, one game out of 3, I should say. Is all they had to get, and they couldn't do it. And then he goes and joins. But the fact that he said he'd do that 1,000,000 times over is, I think it speaks to his character.
Yeah.
No, don't get me wrong. Like, he's a world player. Like, he's up there on a pedestal. But the fact that he feels he needs constant clarification is weird to me.
He's wanted to be as adored as LeBron James has been.
But do you think LeBron James goes into his locker room and goes, guys, what do you want me to do today? The playmaker, the scorer, the defensive player?
No, LeBron tells you what you're going to do.
LeBron just does it fucking all and he doesn't complain about it. The guy's been doing it for year on year on year at the highest fucking level. And you don't see him going, well, we lost this game because I didn't actually know my role.
Yeah. Sorry, guys, I didn't know what was
I
going on.
thought I was playing great defence, and then I didn't know they wanted me to play great offence as well. That was crazy.
Yeah. There was a rebound coming to me, but I wasn't sure whether I could get it or not, so I just left it.
AD, this one's mine. No, fuck that. He just grabs that shit and runs over.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Take accountability.
I didn't rate that interview. It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't great.
Love it or hate it, we got it. We got that interview. Brings me to a question. What do we want to see next? What
interview?
What interview would you like to see next?
Disgruntled players.
Could be, or
so I think an obvious one's KD and Westbrook. It's probably KD and anyone in the league. But KD and Westbrook, I think it's an obvious one. That'd be a good sit. That would be a Kobe Shaq type sit down.
I'd like to see a Kyrie and LeBron.
Yeah.
That is a good
Agreed.
Well,
I'd love to see Kyrie and LeBron. And maybe Kevin Love mediating it because he just did nothing in his career anyway for those two. So.
Celtics big three, I would love to see.
Celtics, yeah. So KG and Paul Pierce and then Ray Allen on the other side of the table. That would be mad.
And also like teams that got put together but didn't quite get the traction. So for example, your Melo Iverson. That was a dream team. They were both averaging close to 30 points a game.
Yeah.
That entire season, and then get knocked out 2 years on the bounce by the Spurs in the first round. Like teams like that, it would be great, I feel. But overall, I think Russ and KD, that would be top notch. I think that.
Yeah, but I mean, would it, or would they just do what we've just seen with Draymond and KD? Like, I mean, you got to think,
would Russ roll over and take it like Draymond did though in this interview?
Yeah, but I think, but Russ hasn't done anything wrong. Draymond was the one that done wrong.
Yeah.
In that situation, so Russ has got nothing to roll over for, has he? But I think with obviously Kyrie being the way he is now, I think that interview could be sparky, a LeBron Kyrie one. I don't think LeBron's dumb enough to do something like that though, because obviously LeBron's Mr. Nice Guy. He's definitely not why he's still playing.
That will have a Shaq Kobe feel effect to the interview, not a KD Draymond feel.
Yeah.
They'll talk about the winning the championship would struggle. They won't talk about issues that prevailed itself basically and broke them apart. Especially when people talk about Kyrie's mental health, and then LeBron's not going to sit there and attack the guy and say, "Oh, you fucked up, you're done wrong."
No, you're a little bitch. Yeah.
He can't see that character, but maybe depending on how Brooklyn plays out, you could see a Kyrie and KD. Because they're already saying how
starting to be a common denominator.
Yeah, Kyrie just turns up to training apparently when he wants, and bits and pieces like that.
I think with Kyrie, I've listened to a few things this week, and I think with Kyrie is his mind and his heart is like in the right place in the things he wants to do. Like he wants to make the world a better place, etc., etc. The way he comes across, he can't articulate it very well. He can't vocalize it very well. So like all the things he's doing, like feeding the homeless in Brooklyn, the people that can't eat, etc., etc., and talking about, I don't want to talk
build a school in India.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
But then the way he comes across to the media, the way he says about, I don't want to talk to you pawns. Like, there's bigger things in the world. Like, that's not how you. How you word it. Like,
you want to be a peaceful person.
You are in the media. The media are going to be there for you. They're not going to be there for third world countries. So put them on the platform while you're on it. Don't talk to people in that way.
Don't poison the platform while you're there.
Yeah,
with them.
Yeah, that'd be it.
Also, before you make the world a better place, you need to understand the world and know it's not flat.
Very true.
But one thing, just swaying back to the Draymond and KD interview, that kind of like rustled with Jimmy's a little bit. They bring up the whole, we didn't care if Clay didn't turn up for practice. We knew he was coming to the games and lighting it up, which is cool. You have that value to your team. Everyone respects you.
No,
that you need your time.
I disagree.
However, a big name, Allen Iverson, was crucified for not showing up to practice.
Yeah,
and it just shows how different the NBA has swung
in
the last couple of decades.
It's the Players' League.
So it's a players-run league now, that's why.
It's ridiculous. And I guarantee not any of the three names that were mentioned will have any drawback to it. There will be no repercussions.
No. I mean, I don't know. I was actually going to ask, do you think Draymond will feel any repercussions of this? And I think there's a chance, especially if Golden State don't get off to a good start, I think there's a chance that they'll chuck him up on the trading block for this. I
think that's a fair shout, but at the same time, the fans at Golden State, for some reason, they love Draymond Green.
Yeah, but Bob Myers runs the show, so
the fans don't pay the wages.
No, exactly, and that is it. At the end of the day, like, you're an employee, you know. So if you're not showing up for practice, I'm paying you. I'm paying you not to turn up.
Yeah, basically, you're not sitting here today talking about your boss calling him a clown in front of millions of people. And then going back into work tomorrow and going, hey, how you doing, Bob?
Yeah. Did you watch that interview?
Yeah, did you see that interview? Slated you and say everything's your fault and get the fans to hate you.
Hit the like button, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like, yeah, Bob, we're tight.
We'll end it there.
Yeah, let's just go all day.
So, we're coming up for this season is the 75th season in the NBA.
75 years.
75 years of pure goodness. Now, at the 50th anniversary, we got the 50th greatest players
Top
of all
list.
time. So what we have all decided we're going to do is we're going to add 25 players to the top 50, make it a top 75.
Which is, I think, I'm guessing that's what they're going to intend on doing this year or at the end of this season.
So we're going to get some unanimous names. Should we chuck out 5 unanimous names to start out with?
Go for it.
So I'm going to go Allen Iverson.
Yep.
Kobe B.
Yep.
Bron.
Of course.
Now this might sway some heads, these next 2 picks, but I'm going Timmy D.
You just said unanimous.
Yeah, but you're giving me the side eye thinking, who's he going to pick for the top 5?
I'll sit there, right? I'll sit there thinking, because you said let's throw out some unanimous names and you start with Allen Iverson instead of Kobe and LeBron.
Well, this is just how I've written them down, Mike. I mean,
so I'll see how your mind works. We're getting a good insight into Brench's mind this afternoon, guys.
He's going in draft order, but then he just went backwards with Timmy D.
We got Timmy D at the 4th spot, and then Dirk Nowitzki.
Right, that's 5 unanimous for sure. Let's take that to 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So KD.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kevin Garnett.
Yep.
Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
Steve Nash.
Yeah.
And Russell Westbrook.
Yeah. Mr. Triple Double.
Yeah, he's on my list.
Yeah, I think he deserves that. Right, that's so we're 10 unanimous.
Yeah, sweet. Right, who's going to take the plunge and say the first?
I'll throw the first one out there.
Go on, mate. Go on.
I'm going to go Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Absolutely.
He was late to be added to my list, but I put him there.
Middle of the pack for me.
The reason why he's in there for me, because people might say, he can't be all time because he's still early in his career. If you look at how much he's achieved so much early in his career, and he's still developing.
I did hold him back for the failed runs of the, obviously not last season, the previous 2 seasons. But yeah, then I thought back-to-back MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. Nah, with his chip, with his finals MVP, and such a dominant performance from him in the finals, he had to go on. But he was a late addition.
For me, he was like middle of the pack, but I knew I had to put him in the list because we had this discussion a couple of weeks ago, me and Brett, on it was at the finals, after the finals.
Yeah.
And I said he would qualify to be one of the greatest ever to play.
Yeah.
So I've got to back my own word there.
Yeah. All right, so Jason Kidd?
Yep. I haven't got Jason Kidd on my list.
Disgusting.
But as I said earlier, I regret my decision instantly because of some of the more wild card names that I do have on my list. But
I just think Jason Kidd was a revelation at every team he played for. Most notably, the Dallas Mavericks, definitely. But even when he was at
I remember
the
him
Nets.
most
The
at
Nets was his.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Even when he was at the Nets, fantastic.
When I
point guard.
first started watching basketball, it was Jason Kidd in the Nets at the time, and it was
like a big. It was like a big three with him, Vince Carter, and Richard Jefferson, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And even Kenyon Martin there as well.
Based.
You know,
I almost chucked him in.
I actually saw that. I saw that team live. Like it was great. But yeah, obviously, previous to Russell Westbrook showing up, he was the next best with the triple doubles. So he was probably one of I don't want to say one of the last. 'Cause obviously, we still got CP3, but true point guards, like true team generals, like you know. So Jason Kidd's there for me. I don't know why he's not on your list, Brench, but maybe you need to rethink that.
Need to think about.
Right, I'm gonna throw another one. I'm gonna throw another one out there, which I think should be unanimous. Ray Allen.
Oh yeah,
yeah, he's on my list.
Yeah, he is unanimous.
Mr. Jesus Shuttlesworth.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wrote down.
Jesus.
All right, so Wrench.
Now for me, we're going to get into our first debate here because I'm going Reggie Miller, and for me, Reggie Miller is one of the best guards to have played, clutch anyway. But for me, it was so exciting watching Reggie Miller.
Yeah.
I'd put him in at 25.5. He's on the brinkers of could break in, because could be sitting on the outside of that.
For me, this is why he's not on my list, is because he could have made the top 50. He was in the NBA when the top 50 list was made, and he didn't make it. And for that reason, there's certain players that are excluded from making the next 25.
Yeah.
So say, you know, obviously Tim Duncan could, you know, he was in the NBA when the top 50 list was made, but obviously it was early in his career. I think he was only 2 years in the league or whatever. So obviously he's never going to make it. Reggie Miller was drafted in 87. So
I'm not even going to sit here and pretend I know exactly when he was
somewhere
drafted.
around there, 89 maybe. But what I'm saying is he had ample time, and he was.
He did, yeah.
It's not like he burst out of nowhere and got great. Like he's always good. He was always good.
Yeah.
Obviously, he did get better in his career as it went on a little bit, but yeah, that's the only reason I haven't held him out. But I'm with Mike. Like he should be there, but because he wasn't in the top 50, I can't put him in the next 25. Therefore, he'll never make the list
Reggie.
to me.
Sorry, Reggie.
But you saying obviously you saying let's debate that. Now you said he's one of the top. Name me who you put him above in the shooting guard position, because I'll give you 3 shooting guards right now. I'll give you 4 shooting guards right now that I'd rather take over.
For me, it was just the impact that he had. I loved his attitude. It was Reggie for me is he fits what I want in a guard. He's a good defender, great shooter. He's clutch. He trash talks. You know, that for me, it was just a joy to watch Reggie Miller take over.
He was, but all right, fair.
So we're going Reggie's not on, yeah.
Well, he's on your list.
He's on my list.
Oh,
yeah,
each list is separate. Each list is separate,
keep
man.
Right.
Keep him on your list.
I'm saying Melo.
Yeah, absolutely, without any doubt.
Is Mike agreeing to this?
He's silent nodding.
I agree.
Someone play a heavenly sound.
I agree.
Okay, yeah, that's fine then. We're all with that, so that's another unanimous. This is a definite unanimous. Steph Curry.
Oh yeah.
Without doubt.
Game changer. First unanimous MVP. Mm-hmm. No doubt about it. Mm-hmm. Mike, what you got?
Chris Paul.
Yes.
Yep. No doubt.
Yes.
Absolutely no doubt.
Yep.
Hasn't actually won a chip, but probably one of the people that deserves most to them. You know.
Felix Iverson never won a chip.
Look at his numbers, and they haven't really differed that much.
No.
Yeah.
His points have slowly dropped, but he has been
his effect is there.
He has been one of the true best point guards of this year, of the NBA for years.
Yeah,
literally for years. Like the way he plays, the way he runs offenses, it's just
you just feel calm when you see Chris Paul walking the ball up.
Do you know what really? And this is quite interesting topic. When Chris Paul and Deron Williams got drafted in the same year, I absolutely loved Deron Williams.
His
driving ability, the way he protects the ball, and I thought prior to injuries.
His crossover.
Yeah, his crossover
was
you're disgusting. But I thought he was going to be a better point guard when it's all said and done than Chris Paul when they first got drafted. And I think if it weren't for injury and having the opportunity, I think maybe he could have been. But the way Chris Paul's developed and he's just consistent.
Yeah.
IQ gets better. The way obviously he goes into teams and he improves teams. Look what he's done for Phoenix.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He's just
rebirth.
There's so much done. He's made obviously Devin Booker's breakout year. He's made DeAndre Ayton a better, obviously big in the pick and roll scenario.
Yeah, for sure.
Unbelievable point guard. So yeah, for me, definitely in there.
Yeah, definitely. I want to throw a risky one out there.
Go on, mate.
I've
T-Mac.
got him.
I fucks with that.
Just the 13 seconds.
Because obviously, yeah, exactly. A phenomenal player. Like one of the guys I really idolised when I first started getting into basketball. Him, Iverson, were there for me. I mean, watching him on Orlando when I was young, and then obviously what he did in Houston. The only thing the only reason I put him risky is because he never made it out the first round, and obviously the injuries. But what a baller!
Yeah, absolutely.
What a baller!
And I mean, even people that do not watch basketball or have any idea what basketball really is have seen that clip.
Yeah.
Have seen the 13 seconds. What was it? How many points
It was 13 points in 32 seconds,
yeah,
I think.
Insane.
To win the game.
Yeah. They were down.
Funny story about this. Me and my brother, we was watching the game, and obviously it was against the Spurs. And we were watching this game. We were in Orlando, watching this game live on TV. So the Rockets down 15, whatever. My mum shouts, "Oh, come on, we're going to go out for dinner." I'm like, "This game's over, isn't it?" Go out for dinner, get back, turn the TV on, SportsCenter comes on, T-Mac comes back, 13 points in 31 seconds. Fucking unbelievable. Don't think we've ever let my mum live that down. One of the best games ever.
Love it.
Oh my God.
Love it.
Yeah, T-Mac's definitely on there for me.
Okay. Right, if we're chucking out risky ones, Ben Wallace.
Nah.
No. I get why you're thinking Ben Wallace because it crossed my mind and it ran very quickly
It
out
crossed
of it.
my mind, yeah.
But yeah, defensively, great player. Is he good enough to get into the top 75, top 50, whatever we're looking at? No.
I mean, anyone in
Top
my eyes,
100s?
anyone that can shut down Shaq, then that's a fucking...
Yeah, I do.
That's an insane
I
player.
get you, and obviously I think he went 3 times Defensive Player of the Year, and you give it to him in a time where we're talking about 7-footers. He was only 6'8" doing this,
And this was like when Defensive Player of the Year meant playing proper defence.
yeah. Like Ben Wallace was
real,
like Dennis Rodman kind of
This is like the real deal.
level.
This was
where
back
he-
when
he
NBA
knew his role.
was hitting the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
Towards
I mean,
the end of that
yeah.
era, this was when...
Question with that then: in today's NBA, do you think Ben Wallace would be as good as he was?
He wouldn't be in the league in today's NBA. But then I
But he
think
didn't play
there's
in
quite
today's NBA.
that's it.
Yeah,
No.
but
then
take
if
the
you-
guys from the top 50,
Like
put them in the
Steph
league
wouldn't-
today, and they wouldn't be there.
Oh, you could do.
Steph wouldn't-
Shaq would be there.
No,
Kareem would be
Shaq
there.
would be there.
Like,
you got in the top 50, you got guys from like the 70s. You put them in the 2000s.
Yeah, they're not gonna.
They're scrubs.
I don't know about that. That's a fucking statement.
But, I mean,
in
take
comparison,
it as you
mate,
will.
the
Take it
game
as you
has
will.
developed
Bill
so
Russell.
differently.
Bill Russell in today's NBA is not winning 11 rings.
No, absolutely not.
You know, because people are bigger than him now. Like in his day, he was the biggest guy, like the most dominant player, and it's more of a level playing field now.
The league has just developed so much.
I mean, point guards even 20 years ago, point guards were 6'1", 6'2". Now point guards are 6'8".
apart from Magic Johnson.
Yeah, apart from Magic Johnson. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now point guards are 6'8". Like if you ain't 6'6", you probably ain't getting in the league.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no, I don't agree with Ben Wallace. I'm with Mike. He did cross my mind. Sick Detroit team, and obviously being the centrepiece of that team, great defensive player, but no. However, I did go with Chauncey Billups.
Mr. Big Shot.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Mr. Big Shot,
Absolutely.
leader of that team. Like you say, took out a dynasty, taking down the Lakers, broke the
MVP.
dynasty up.
He won
Yeah, got
MVP
the Finals MVP. And he was sick even when he got traded to Denver. Him and Melo worked really well, and I really rated Chauncey. I think he's underrated, but he deserves. I feel like he deserves the top 25.
Point guards to have ever played.
Yeah, and he got the name Mr. Big Shot for a reason.
Yeah.
Mike, I feel like you're about to disagree.
No, I agree.
I agree. Fucking come on. Mike's winning today.
I fucking love it.
So we got another unanimous.
Yeah.
All right. So throw who you think you got a curveball on your list, Mike.
I've got a very big curveball actually. I'm going Klay Thompson.
I had him. I took him off.
And to tell you the reason why this is, I think he gets overshadowed by the teams he's played in, but he's still won all the chips. He's a fantastic wing defender. 37 points in one quarter.
62 points
that he has broken
for shooting guards as a shadow player and still doing what he's doing. I think he's one of the top shooting guards in the league.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
Mate, I had him on my list. I did take him. I think I took him off to put Giannis on. However, I'm going to get to one who you probably think I should have taken out for Klay, but I completely agree for them exact same reasons. I think he had 62 and 3/4. And it was something ridiculous like 26 minutes.
He's
another name that I wish I put on my list.
Unbelievable player. And I think this is why he does get overlooked on some people's lists, because if you say the Warriors, you automatically think the best players there are Steph and KD. But Klay has been there consistently. He's the one player when they've been moving pieces around, he's sticked with it because they appreciate his value. And
the one person who made the difference before he got injured in the 2019 finals was Klay. If Klay hadn't got injured and they'd won that championship, he was finals MVP.
100%.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Great player, and I cannot wait to see him get back to it.
He's a defender as well.
Yeah, he is a great defender, yeah.
You don't get the full package like Klay all the time, but a great pick that. I fully agree with that. But it's just not on my list.
Yeah, it's 25.5. Go on then, throw us another one, Brench.
Vince Carter.
I've got him.
Yep, I've got him.
Fucks with Vince
I've got him.
I think you've got to have him.
Built Toronto.
Yeah, and there's no Toronto without Vince Carter. You can't speak on that. And I mean, Air Canada, isn't it? Guy jumps out of the building.
Guy's still throwing it down at like 40 odd years old.
Exactly. I mean,
I think his last season before lockdown, he caught an alley oop, and he went to jam it, and he just
finger rolled
it. Finger roll.
No, absolutely. His time in Toronto, his time in New Jersey. I think, as you said, I think Orlando was where he started to fall off a little.
Yeah, a little, and then he
was
fantastic.
He made people fall in love with the ability of dunking.
Yeah. Yes,
for sure.
Some of his athleticism that I've seen, his dunks that he makes.
Dunks pre-Vince Carter were not exclusive for bigs. Obviously, you had the Sean Kemps, obviously MJ,
before
Dominique.
Vince Carter sort of came into it, it was like you'd see 3 dunks a game.
Yeah.
Whereas now you're getting yammed.
Yeah, and you're seeing acrobatic dunks in NBA games, which is something you didn't really get before.
No.
And it was just like kind of like MJ. He was floating every time he leapt. He was, fuck, what's he gonna do now? Like,
yeah,
you see Vince Carter on a fast break, and you get goosebumps.
I actually saw the clip. That picture of him where it's a baseline picture. He's got one hand on the backboard and he's fully cocked back. He's been throwing an alley-oop. I actually saw the clip of that. I never realised that he didn't make it. He's almost vertical. He's almost horizontal, sorry. He's almost horizontal in the picture. He's got one hand on the side of the backboard and he's caught this ball and he didn't make that dunk. And I think the clip was the story behind the picture.
I mean, anyone...
But that picture in itself is just...
Anyone that has jumped over another man and yammed on him deserves to be on this list.
Yeah.
And now we've got 3 names that have done that.
Yeah.
Giannis, Bron, and Vince.
Yep.
Let's go.
Well, Bronze was over like a 5'8" dude, but yeah, he's still impressive nonetheless.
Still cleared him.
Right, I've got one for you. Dwight Howard.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Come on in.
I get why you're thinking, but after Orlando,
I don't think
the guy went missing.
That's not fair.
His career,
his career went down,
dive.
but you could put that down to injury as well. I mean, he had a massive back issue in his last year in Orlando.
Put that down to who he played with as well. He played with a big personality in Kobe, and then.
Yeah, but but the whole thing with the Kobe, it was supposed to, and they had Steve Nash as well. It was supposed to be Kobe and Shaq 2.0, wasn't it? But Dwight was an absolute wrecking ball. He took a bum team to the NBA Finals as a centre. I think he went 3 times Defensive Player of the Year. I might be wrong, it might only be 2. But he was an absolute animal, and he was on path to be the next Shaq.
But it never happened.
Well, I mean, it did happen, but not for as long as as long as we'd have liked it to be.
If he wins that chip with Orlando, he's cemented as one of the best bigs of all time.
But this is where argument.
I still rate him anyway.
This is what argument takes, right? Because we didn't put Derrick Rose onto a list because of injury, but prior to injury, youngest MVP in the league.
Yeah, but you had 3 years out of Derrick Rose. You had 10 out of Dwight. 9.
How many prime years out of Dwight though?
I mean, he was good when he got to the league. Like rookie year, maybe not. Second year, great.
Straight
all the way up
school,
until
was he out of high school?
straight out of high school. Yeah, all the way up until
My point
his
is
last year in Orlando.
when he
asked for a
I
trade.
get he's had injuries and he's really fell off, but he had good seasons in Orlando, and then after that,
He was pretty good in Houston.
took a dive.
Yeah, it dropped.
Took a dive. And I
But he was
can't
pretty good in
put people
Houston.
in my top 75 who've taken a dive over people that have been consistent. I can't do that. There's people in the league, bigs, smalls, who have stayed consistently great, that are better than Dwight Howard. I appreciate Dwight Howard had fantastic years in Orlando.
Yeah, all right. Then we'll name another
respect
big that was or name another inside player that was as dominant as Dwight.
How many great years did Dwight have?
7.
Right.
I'm just throwing that 7.
7.
7.
How many years has Nikola Jokic been in the league?
6.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, right. Nikola Jokic is how old?
Not even 30 yet.
28?
28, right. Still got multiple years left on him. But he's been on an upwards trajectory all this time. I'm putting Jokic over Dwight Howard at this stage.
Nah.
A better passer,
that,
a better shooter, a better big, a better playmaker, more consistent, better over years. I appreciate Dwight has been the most dominant centre since Shaq in the modern era. But for me, top 25, I'm taking Jokic over Howard at this time because of longevity, because of what he's been doing in the league. And you can only see, right, Jokic is still going upwards, and since obviously he's left Orlando, although he's had a couple of good seasons, Dwight Howard's dropped off massively.
Name one person on Dwight Howard's Orlando Magic roster that would drop 50 points in back-to-back games.
Jameer Nelson.
This is what I'm saying. Yeah, and Rashard Lewis.
Rashard Lewis was probably the number 2 guy on that.
But this is what I'm saying to you. Like this guy took down LeBron in his prime as a centre.
Yeah, and that's why he's on my list.
But then could Dwight Howard get a triple-double like Jokic does?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is look how much more help Jokic has got on his team than Dwight Howard had in Orlando. We're talking with Rafer Alston was on this roster that made the NBA Finals.
Okay.
Yeah, Rafer Alston, who is probably the 3rd best player on that team, behind Jameer Nelson and Dwight.
Both of them too.
But he was on a come down. Nah, Dwight deserves to be there.
In the top 25.
Dwight,
I like him on the Sonics.
Dwight deserves. You've got Dwight
I've got Dwight. Yeah.
for the same reasons.
Yeah,
because he was so dominant. I think anybody that you can compare to Shaq, be it for
Do you think Shaq could put him in
5 years. I think Shaq does have to give him his props. I think behind closed doors he would do, but the fact that Dwight dubbed himself Superman, Shaq didn't like it. And then obviously being that he was drafted by Orlando as Shaq was, it was always that comparison. He
did also then go and lose a dunk contest to Nate Robinson.
Yeah, but he's
Kryptonite.
There's anybody that's less than 6 foot in a dunk contest is going to win. And he beat Nate Robinson the next year.
And in the first year, Nate Robinson beat him the second year.
Oh, was that it? Oh, yeah, with the Superman dunk. Yeah. Even his dunk in the last dunk contest he was in in 2020 with the Lakers.
I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah. It was well underrated, his dunk, man. It was so sick. Like, he just palmed the ball, just 360'd it without horizontally.
For me, I just like how Dwight, he has dropped, absolutely. But he hasn't dropped.
Name me a player that hasn't dropped.
You know, like guys
LeBron
like
James.
Iverson.
He
dropped
number-wise,
he dropped off because of stubbornness, whereas Dwight Howard has quite happily settled into these roles.
I don't know. I think this is where Mike is right. Is that he didn't work on the Lakers because he didn't want to take the backstage. He didn't want to take that second part to Kobe. And I think the issues with James Harden and Dwight Howard was the same thing. He was better in Houston than he was in the Lakers, but then he was coming off major back surgery in the Lakers as well. So obviously the media hype around Kobe and Dwight beef, which would have been a sick interview, FYI.
Yeah, true.
RIP Bean, but that would have been a sick interview. All right then, so 2 out of 3 ain't bad for Dwight.
Yeah, I fucks with Dwight.
Who you got, Mike?
Good question. I got so into that bloody Dwight Howard debate. I'm sitting there thinking, Dwight Howard, really? Tony Parker, we gone there?
I've got TP.
Another name that I wish I put on my fucking list.
Fucking hell, what was your list going to be? 50 people deep or something, Keys?
Well, I just would have got rid of some of these wang guys I've got on.
Oh my God.
This
guy. Yeah, right, so we're just going to agree on Tony Parker and let's hear some of these guys you've got on your list, Brent, because...
well, no, I've got Anthony Davis.
No, not yet. No, it's too early. He could be, but it's too early for me. I'll take Dwight over Anthony Davis.
I don't know about that.
You wouldn't take Dwight over Anthony Davis? Pick two prime years. Pick a prime year out of Dwight, a prime year out of Anthony Davis, and you're taking Anthony Davis.
Oh, mate, I don't want to get into this.
Why not? This is what we're here for. Don't back away. Mate, say with your chest.
No, I think just that Anthony Davis is a more versatile player.
He's more versatile than Dwight, yeah, but he's not as dominant as Dwight, is he?
No, the 2020 season, more powerful and more of a centre than Anthony Davis is, yeah. But I would never class Anthony Davis as a centre anyway. I'd have him more of a power forward than I would a centre because of his shooting abilities and his movement.
Well, enough of your shit list. James Harden.
James Harden is on my list, on my shit list.
I have also got James Harden.
I think you have to. The way the offensive force that he is. Anybody, like we said, other than Derrick Rose, anybody that's made MVP over the last 25
dropping
years
multiple 50-point games on the regs.
Yeah. He's an offensive unit. I mean, that's as far as it goes. And he's a great team leader. Like the last few years where he's been running the ball, his game's really not evolved. He's still.
I wouldn't say team leader. I think it's the wrong term. I think playmaker.
Yeah.
I don't think team leader is the right term.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you there. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
When you're in the strip clubs, brother.
You're absolutely right. Yeah.
You can lead them to the strip club.
And you can pay for the strippers.
Right, so I've got 2 people left.
I think I do too.
I have Dame.
Nah.
No?
Not on my list.
Reasons being?
I just don't think he's accomplished enough yet. He hasn't won an MVP, he hasn't won a ring, and...
Oh, wait, are we talking about the NBA? Sorry, I thought he was picking Grammys. My bad. Dame Dollar, new album.
Rap album. Brent just looking there very blank stared.
Oh, I don't listen to that.
Nah?
It's not actually too bad.
I don't listen to NBA players. After Allen Iverson's hip-hop album, I've sort of...
Wait, you didn't go and cut Ron's album? No, you didn't go and cut that. No? I mean, he told you to. We all see it, right? He told you to. He was at the Source Awards, man.
Listen to Steve-O from Jackass rap album.
Mike, where do you stand on Dame?
For me, no. I have to sit and no.
He's a risky one, but
I think.
I think effort-wise, I think he's a real top point guard. But I think there's better point guards.
I've seen lists with like Brandon Roy. Obviously, you subcategorise him into what ifs, and I think Dame Lillard is what Brandon Roy would have been. I don't think Brandon Roy.
I think Brandon Roy wouldn't, because I think it's too injury prone. I think he
obviously to make that list.
It's like saying Grant Hill. Grant Hill was meant to be one of the top players in the NBA.
Grant Hill was
but
meant to be the next MJ.
I mean, he was LeBron before LeBron, really,
exactly.
wasn't he?
I think the way I dissect it is that if I get a top 50 and I go to put the top 50 in to make it even, I go top 10 for each position. Dame, for me, all time doesn't make that top 10 point guard role. So for me, even if I push that to a top 12, top 13, he still probably won't make it all time. which means for me he's on the outskirts of it. If he does change it up and he goes to a team and he starts to get more accomplishments and he obviously starts to show his worth a lot more in terms of value, yeah, fantastic. I think he would probably break in. But right this minute, not enough.
Yeah, no love for Dame time.
He's been in MVP conversations for the past few years. At the start of the year, he's always in the midst of it. And then you kind of, like, mid-season drops off because his stats are pretty much the same, but he just falls off the conversation. He's just not that relevant, you know. And we haven't seen Dame Lillard at the top of Dame Lillard's game yet, I don't think. We haven't seen him in a finals.
Where would you put Dame? Where would you put Dame amongst clutch shooters?
He is a very clutch shooter.
Dame time. I mean, how many playoff series has he ended on a jump shot? I mean, at least 3.
Yeah,
at least 3.
The Rockets.
OKC. Twice, I think. And OKC, yeah. No. Yeah, no, the Rockets once, sorry. Rockets once, OKC, and who did he do last year? Who did he do last year? I know he didn't, did he?
They got knocked out first round.
No, it was I was thinking of the Nuggets. It wasn't the Nuggets.
No, Nuggets.
Yeah, no. Well, yeah. I mean, he's a massive clutch shooter.
He is, yeah, absolutely.
But fair enough. Like, I mean, he was a risky choice, but yeah. All right, then. So
my next name, for you're just going to say no because of the same reasons that Reggie Miller wasn't in it, is Chris Webber.
Yeah, no.
And I think,
no.
And it's the same reasons why Reggie wasn't in your top 25.
Asterisk alert. Asterisk alert. Reggie Miller's asterisk alert. Mm-hmm. Chris Webber not so much. I just nah. he was good. I
liked Chris Webber's game a lot.
I liked Chris Webber's game. That Sacktown team with Jason Williams and Pager, Stojakovic. Yeah, great team, but not for me.
I'm going to throw one that's out there under the radar. May not agree. Chris Bosh.
Nah. No.
He was a name that was teetering around in my head because I was just going through the...
I've not put him in there. I'm just sitting here thinking right now, if you're throwing up people like Chris Webber, I'm thinking Chris Bosh then also needs to be thrown in that conversation.
Yeah, okay, well, I'm going to throw a counter-attack to that, to Chris Bosh. Jermaine O'Neal.
No.
Yeah. I'll take Jermaine O'Neal over Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh has got the championships, but he's not got the championships for the same reason.
They're so overlooked because of the eras that they're playing in, and Chris Bosh played behind D Wade and LeBron.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. The story come out this week that it was actually supposed to be Melo, not Chris Bosh, but Melo signed the extension. Oh. It was supposed to be Melo in Miami. Yeah, it was supposed to be Melo in Miami with Wade and LeBron. They had all agreed that they was going to sign 3 years deals.
Life choices of Melo.
And Melo went for the money instead.
What I'm saying to you.
Okay, so Chris Bosh doesn't go to Miami, so he doesn't get 2 chips. You're not putting him on this list. I did put Jermaine O'Neal on this list, but I have just watched The Untold Malice in the Palace. I was reminded of how great he is. He was a phenomenal player, 6-time All-Star. He was, as you mentioned earlier, like AD. He was like AD before ADs even existed. You know, that stretch big that could step out with a jump shot. All right, he wasn't on the 3-point line, but I mean, what a player! What a force!
Player. And the same with Chris Bosh.
And as that documentary showed, that Indiana team was phenomenal, and Jermaine O'Neal was the centerpiece of it. So that's my argument. That's my list done.
Oh yeah, I've lost track of who we said. Have we said, just to clarify, both KD and Leonard?
Well, yeah, we have. Yeah.
I bloody hope so. Just to throw it out there.
Yeah, we went KD unanimous straight off the bat. We didn't even dispute that.
Did we just?
I've got one name left. I've got one name left, and this is obviously going to be argued. Nikola Jokic.
Oh, fucking give me a break, man.
MVPs from the last 25 years. We've said it 3 times during this episode.
Asterisk season.
Can I just say, right, if Joel Embiid does healthy at a full year, he's MVP.
Yeah, but Joel Embiid don't make the list. I think
he didn't have it.
I think
woulda, coulda, shoulda.
I think it's too early for Jokic.
I think he's one of the best bigs to have played. especially passing and IQ wise. Insane player, second round draft pick.
I wouldn't say
MVP.
one of the best picks. I'd say one of the best
passing big, absolutely
versatile.
You like
he's a very I like
point guard centre, like point guard forward, whatever you want to call it. He's one of them best. I mean, you put him up against Shaq, no. Me, if you put him up against Prime Dwight Howard, no. If you put him up against AD, this is the argument you was getting at earlier. I think he'd struggle.
What, against AD?
Well, yeah. I mean, look at the bubble season. AD tore him apart, did he not? Did they sweep him, or was it a gentleman's sweep?
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was the bubble season.
It was 4-2.
No, it's 4-1.
I personally would take AD over Nikola Jokic.
That's what I'm saying. I respect your decision. Yes, we did say about reigning MVPs, but he's too fresh.
I think for how long he's been in the league.
I mean, you got your one nugget. two nuggets if you count Chauncey Billups. Just leave it at that.
Is a nug.
3 if you count Allen Iverson.
Oh, Allen Iverson was a nugget, yeah.
Allen Iverson was a nugget, but no, we ain't. We're not talking about Allen Iverson's Nuggets career is not going on this top 25. I mean, he was good.
That's like one of his highest scoring seasons was with the Nuggets.
Of course, it was. He was playing for the Nuggets.
Yeah,
one of the other top scorers in the league. Uncanny, but yeah, all right, that's fair. That's fair. He's still on my list, so fuck you guys.
Yeah. All right, so that rounds it out then. So we probably got about 30 bods on there. Some agreed, some unagreed. No, that
was a lot more diplomatic than what I thought it was going to be.
That's good, man.
I was expecting chairs.
Yeah, same. Yeah, there's a few out there that I thought, T-Mac was one I was a bit...
I think we were all a bit
deserves to
hesitant
be
about
there.
T-Mac, but I think overall that was a great decision.
Yeah, he definitely deserves to be there. I'll rate T-Mac.
Nice,
great list, man. It'd be exciting to see if they do put a list out.
Give the
for the next 25.
I think if you think we've missed anyone, let us know.
Yeah, shout us.
Shout us if you think we've absolutely missed any glaring, obvious, or even debatable people. People maybe agree with, people you don't agree with.
Yeah, let me know if you agree with Dwight. I think you all do. Or let Mike know if you agree with Chris Bosh.
I say it as a rogue one, throwing it out there, but I do like Chris Bosh.
I like Chris Bosh.
I like Chris Bosh,
and it's gutting the way his career ended.
Yeah,
you know everyone deserves.
Do you reckon he'll get his jersey retired in
Toronto? For sure. Oh no! I thought you was going to say Miami.
Miami, yeah.
I think they're actually already talking about it, aren't they?
I think so, but obviously
not in Toronto.
No, not Toronto. But what got me thinking about that? They're retiring Kyle Lowry's number, aren't they?
Yeah, so they should.
Yeah,
it's Mr. Toronto,
best Toronto player ever.
Yeah.
Well, he's the all-time.
He got him a chip. Yeah, he got him a chip, and he's been there. He's through thick and thin.
Yeah. Do you see Vince Carter getting hit? Whether he would like.
I think the way it went, the way it ended, maybe not. He should be.
Yeah.
Because he's put the Raptor on the map.
What about DeRozan?
No, but they got rid of him, didn't they?
Yeah.
As an organisation, if I was DeMar DeRozan, they said we're going to retire your jersey, but I don't fucking bother.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what I was thinking about.
We chose to trade you because you couldn't win us a ring, but we're going to retire your jersey.
But we're going to retire your jersey, and we won the ring just to rub your face in it.
And the year after we traded you, we won.
Yeah.
So
all worked out fine. Yeah.
It worked out for them, yeah. And poor DeRozan, he's gone right
You're
down
fantastic. Let's retire you now.
Now we're just going to have to see how he gets on in Chicago. Right, Brent, you got some news about next week?
Yes. So next week.
Not next week. We're week off next week. Next episode.
Yes. Next episode, we're going to be doing a thing called the No Goats Draft. Now, just for you guys, you obviously don't have a fucking clue what I'm talking about.
To be fair, we don't either.
We don't either.
So the No Goats Draft is a fantasy draft we're going to be doing. So the reason why No Goats is the name, of course, we are not going to have big names like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James,
and so on and so forth.
Shaquille O'Neal, and anyone that was drafted previous to the 96 draft is a no as well.
Are we doing that? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So it is our era, the era we grew up with. It's going to be a fun draft. So you're going to actually have to think about your teams.
Yeah.
And we're going to be whacking it in a 2K simulation. which will be jokes, I think.
That'll
be fun.
2K22, yeah?
2K22. And, so going to have a competition arise out of this as well, boys. So once the teams are picked, we're going to release it to our Instagram page. Pick which team you think is going to win this simulation tournament. The winner, if there are multiples, will be drawn out of a hat. If it's just the one person and they get the win, you'll be getting a signed copy of 2K from myself and the boys. You're going to get an Amazon gift card so you can diddy up some of that VC as well. You know?
I'll fucks with that. I'll fucks with that. I might enter this competition. Yeah? Back my own team.
Absolutely. You've got to hustle yourself first, boys. So
I won the last one, so I'll back out of it. Just in case people think it's fixed.
We're pulling a couple of other bods in. Adam, our edit guy, we're getting him in. He's going to pick a team. We've got a couple of friends who we're going to pull in. They're going to pick teams, and then we're going to throw the teams up. And get.
So later on this week or next week, we're going to release what order the draft picks are going to go. So it's going to be done in a relay. So if you get first pick in the first round, you get last pick in the second round.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, standard.
And the draft picks will be randomised. We won't know who's got number one, but it will be released on the socials.
We'll do a lottery.
And boys as well. You got to think of a team name as well.
Team name, yeah.
Team name.
The Feel Goods.
Right. The Feel Goods.
The Feel Goods.
Too good.
Oh. I want to throw another name out there right quick. The top 25. Let's just see how you feel about it right quick. Gilbert Arenas.
I'll put him down.
Oh, mate.
I'll put him down and take him out.
I loved Gilbert Arenas.
Yeah, I love Gil. Gunshot Gil.
Yeah.
Gunshot Gil.
Yeah. All right. Well, that'll do then, won't it?
Yeah, we're done for this week. But tune in on the next episode for this No Goats draft because it's going to be a fun one. I can guarantee you there's going to be some arguments. People taking each other's.
Can we trade?
Picks.
No.
Absolutely not. No. Commissioner Snazz has spoken.
Commissioner Snazz. You David Stern bitch.
Right, that's going to do it from us at the Flagrant 3 podcast. It's been Snazz, Feeling Too Good, and Mystic Mike.
Whoa!
Peace out.
And has he got to make a prediction this week, or are you just doing it?
We'll give him this week off.
Give him this week off.
Prediction for what?
Prediction about who's going to win this draft.
Do it after the draft. Let me see the drafts first, I'll tell you. Damn sure going to be me, I'll tell you.
Right, peace out, players.
Peace.
In a bit.